Hey there, good to see you. Today we're talking about something that affects over 60 million Americans right now, and eventually pretty much every single one of us. Social Security. A brand new plan has just been announced in Congress, and it could reshape not only how Social Security is funded, but also how it works and how you access your benefits. And this isn't just about whether your check arrives on time. It's about whether you can reach a real person when something goes wrong, whether your local office stays open, and whether the system as a whole can keep up with the promises it has made for generations. Now here's something a lot of people don't realize. If nothing changes, automatic benefit cuts could kick in less than a decade from now. That's not some distant theoretical problem. That's 2033, and this new plan is trying to stop that. But like most things in Washington, it's already facing a lot of pushback. And what happens next could impact not just retirees, but also people on disability, survivors, and anyone who expects to one day rely on Social Security. So stick with me, because the next few minutes could really open your eyes to what's going on. And before I go any further, let me ask you, have you ever had trouble reaching Social Security? Maybe you sat on hold forever, or your local office was so understaffed that you just gave up. Let me know in the comments. I actually read every one, and your stories really show what people are going through. And if this kind of calm, straightforward talk helps you make sense of things, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Alright, so this new proposal is called the Keep Billionaires Out of Social Security Act. It was introduced by Senator Chuck Schumer, and the timing isn't random. Across the country, people are frustrated. Offices have been closing, phone lines are jammed, websites crash, and when you do finally reach someone, they're so overloaded that it feels like they can't really help. Schumer rolled out this bill in front of a group of seniors and Social Security workers in upstate New York. Behind him were big signs that said "Protect Social Security." And that's what this is really about. Protecting a program that millions of Americans depend on as their main source of income. The Social Security Administration has been struggling. Part of that is funding, but a big piece comes down to staffing cuts that go back years. An agency called the Department of Government Efficiency was created to cut costs, including inside Social Security. And efficiency sounds good, right? But in practice, it meant thousands of job losses, fewer people in call centers, and even local field offices being put on the chopping block. One office in New York almost shut down until the community rallied to save it. Others have seen workers walk out because the conditions made it impossible to actually do their jobs. That brings us to what Schumer's bill is trying to do. First, it says no more closing local offices without Congress stepping in. For many people, those offices are a lifeline. They're where you go when you need to fix a problem quickly or apply for disability in person. Next, the plan would push for real hiring, not just a handful of people, but a large-scale effort to rebuild the workforce so you're not stuck with a busy signal or an endless loop of automated messages. It would also invest about $5 billion a year into updating the outdated technology behind Social Security. That could mean fewer delays, fewer mistakes, and much stronger cybersecurity to keep your personal data safe. Because the last thing anyone wants is their Social Security number exposed, because the agency is running on servers from decades ago. Another piece of the plan addresses clawbacks. Right now, if Social Security accidentally overpays you, they can demand the money back, even if it was completely their mistake and you had no way of knowing. This bill would scale back those harsh recoveries so that people aren't punished for errors beyond their control. And finally, it cracks down on anyone who tampers with or misuses Social Security data by adding criminal penalties. Now, as you might guess, not everyone is on board. Some officials argue that privatizing parts of Social Security would make it more efficient. But critics say that's risky, even dangerous. There was even one official who joked that if his own mom didn't get her check, she wouldn't complain. Comments like that don't sit well with people who depend on these payments just to get by. It comes off as tone-deaf, especially when the reality is so many seniors rely on Social Security for the basics: food, rent, medicine. And here's something you might not have heard. The Social Security workforce is now at its lowest staffing level in 50 years. That's right, 5 decades. In places like Syracuse, New York, hundreds of thousands of seniors are sharing billions in benefits, but there simply aren't enough workers to manage the system. So people wait longer, cases get backlogged, and mistakes pile up. Why hasn't Congress already fixed this? Some say it's politics. Others say it's budget constraints. It's probably a bit of both. Schumer's bill is meant to restart the conversation and push for long-term investment. But even though it sounds like common sense, the path forward is anything but smooth. One analyst even said that unless Republicans can be convinced it was their idea all along, it may not pass. And while that sounds cynical, it's how Washington works. Still, public pressure does matter. When communities speak up, offices stay open. When people push back, change happens. And that's why these debates are so important. Because whether you're collecting benefits right now or won't be eligible for decades, this is your money, your paycheck contributions, and your future. So what does this mean for you? If you're retired, it could mean shorter wait times, fewer headaches, and peace of mind that your local office will still be open. If you're not collecting yet, it's about making sure the system will actually be there when your turn comes. And if you've ever waited hours on hold listening to that same loop of music, this bill is meant to fix that too. But let's be clear, even if this bill passes, Social Security's biggest challenge isn't solved. The trust fund is still projected to run out of full funding by 2033. That's when a 23% cut in benefits would automatically hit unless Congress finds a more permanent solution. That could mean raising the payroll tax cap so higher earners pay more, or coming up with new revenue streams. Some think billionaires should pay more into the system. Others worry about overtaxing. There's no easy answer, but doing nothing isn't an option unless we're okay with benefit cuts across the board. And yet, it's worth remembering something important. For all its problems, Social Security works. It's been one of the most effective anti-poverty programs in American history. It provides dignity in retirement, it supports people with disabilities, and it sends out more than $1 trillion in benefits every year. That's huge.